if they don't comply, right?
Thank you,
Exactly.
Mario.
James, go
So a
ahead.
lot of people don't know about me because I'm one of the most censored people in the world. Everybody hears that and says it, but I'm one of the people who got Elon to buy Twitter. I'm the only guy who told him to expose the
Oh,
algorithms.
James.
Hello.
James, I've heard a lot of claims, but that one has to be my favorite.
Well, you
Go
can go
ahead.
on the history. I can give you the link. It's in there. The link's on Twitter still there for me to expose the algorithms. I said Bobcat Goldthwait could do a better job at doing Twitter because then March 3rd, 2020, Elon said, I just want to say I support @Jack as Twitter CEO. He has a good heart. And I said, Bobcat Goldthwait could do a better job because he was busy censoring over 100,000 Christians at the time that I know of. And I said, replace the CEO with someone with a good heart. And these are on your links, on your comments. These are proof in history. So this is factual history that I was the one that was telling Elon to buy Twitter. A lot of people were telling him to buy Twitter back then, not just me. Some people outright said to buy Twitter. I've written over 200 articles against
I
censorship
mean,
since
but did he
2018.
reply to you and say, got it, buddy? I'm going to buy Twitter. Thanks for the suggestion.
Like I said, many people at the time was saying that. Please don't mock me. I wrote over 200 articles since 2018 about censorship. If you don't
It's
speak out
not a
against censorship,
mocking, more of that's a bold claim to make that you
well,
are
it's
one
on
of
the
the people
history.
that helped. I mean, but I replied too, so maybe it was me.
Yeah, like I said, many people said for Elon to buy Twitter, but I'm the only one that said to expose the algorithm first. Okay, it's not bold claims. You can look in the history. I have a lot to talk about. Please don't interrupt me. I mean, I waited patiently. So, like, over 100,000 Christians got banned off of Twitter in 2018, and we moved to Parler, right? Parler was known as the free speech site, right? So Amazon took down Parler, as many of you know, and Apple said you can't have free speech because it has Nazi imagery. And they said free speech is for Nazis, is what Apple said. Okay, so we know Apple, by saying that, is actually the ones pushing 1984 Big Brother. They're the one pushing anti-free speech. But if they phrase it like, Nazis, if Nazis use anything, we can't use it, right? Well, that's dumb, right? The ACLU in the 80s, 90s protested for Nazis. ACL, American Civil Rights Liberty Groups, protested for Nazis to march because if Nazis can't protest, then no one can. The very first thing I got censored for on Twitter in 2018 was I said, God is love, Jesus loves you, everybody should love each other. They said it was hate speech. So if they said everybody should love each other as hate speech, then they can censor anything you say. This is why free speech is important, not just for America, but all around the world. There's a famous quote that was said, tyranny anywhere is a threat to freedom everywhere. So freedom of speech needs to be everywhere. Okay, and now, so after I helped with get that, I bought premium, right? When I post on current Twitter, even being a free speech advocate, when I post something and I reply, I'll get one view. When everybody else gets like 10,000, 100,000, 30,000. So thank you for letting me even talk here. I'm censored here. I get banned on Twitch for saying terrorism is evil while Twitch is supporting terrorism. I get censored on YouTube just for being Christian. Everywhere I go, I get censored because I say the things they don't want you to hear. I'm a very smart intellectual person, and they don't want an honest intellectual person when you live in a world of criminals. I mean, look at Warren Buffett. Like the way I attacked.
All
I'm going to
right,
finish. I'm going to finish real
James,
fast.
you're sort of going off on a tangent here.
No, well,
You're getting a
anyway,
little
Linda doesn't
derailed.
hire Christians. That's why she doesn't belong.
I,
She's also
you
a
know,
WEFer. She's
I
a
think
WEFer.
that if
She
there's
she
a, there
she
there
should
might
be fired. Buff. Like. Okay, as you can see, I got cut off even talking about free speech. But it was nice I got to talk to because I got 14 followers real fast. I think it's 16, 17 right now. So I'm going to conclude my conversation that I was cut off from saying. So in 2024, Apple was attacking Elon. I saw the same thing as when Apple attacked Parler to shut them down. Apple wanted Twitter shut down, X shut down. And I said, oh, I remember back in 2000, I did some inventions of the smartphone. I did have some smartphone inventions in 2000. Let's see what I got. And it says, turn the palm into a cell phone, wireless, smartwatch, smart glasses. I'm like, oh, that's not bad. Oh, I invented this virtual keyboard. That's cool. From 2000, right? This is 2000. Steve Jobs plagiarized it, right? That's pretty cool. I invented this. Oh, put the contact list together. Oh, there's the back button, the home button, 3-button navigation, home, back, multiple page view. I'm like, this is pretty cool. So I got all these design documents packed up, and I did this at Carnegie Mellon, where Steve Jobs came in 2005, and where Google came in 2006 for the smartphone. If you look at that, Google came in for 2006 for the smartphone. So I'm the inventor of the smartphone, believe it or not, which is actually pretty cool. You're talking to a legend right now. I don't just speak for free speech. I don't say wise words. I'm literally the inventor of the smartphone. This question mark with a hint was used in Access before, but I turned it into a single button icon. Claims he invented a question mark. Freaking Dr. Evil's dad. You got some other stuff here. Cell phones, the Palm can exchange with a phone, all this stuff, virtual keyboard, 3-button nav, App Store, I developed the App Store, Palm Accelerator, cloud computing, global positioning, existing smartwatch, Google Display, QR codes, etc., etc., etc. Who cares? Okay, so Apple was attacking Elon in 2024, late fall 2024. I can bring up the tweet if you really wanted to see. If you need to see the tweet, you want me to refer to it, I'll give it to you. So I dug out these notes and I said, hey, you know what? I think I invented the smartphone. I invented all those design notes, and I started talking to lawyers. If you know anything about lawyers, they're all on the side of media because Apple and Google are the biggest advertisers in the United States, basically. So if the media is not with them, they won't get their advertiser dollars, right? So all of advertisers, all of media, all the lawyers, everybody's one big Hollywood, kumbaya. They're all one big group, Hollywood, and they live in their own Hollywood bubble, which is why some actually believe the liberal shit they talk about, like Noodles from Offspring. He's a cool punk, right? He's anti-Nazi, but for some reason he thought Trump was a Nazi. And I exposed the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, you own nothing and like it. I will reset the world with viruses, And Noodles just quit Twitter. He's like, you know what? He knew I was right. He knew Trump wasn't a Nazi, so these punk bands, even Green Day, took bribes from Biden to say stuff against Trump, and because they believe it. These punk bands, they get so much money, they hang out with Hollywood, and they start to believe all the lies they're pushing in the media because they hang out with all these people on a day-to-day basis. It's like the big lie back in the Nazi era was like, if you repeat a lie long enough, people believe it. I think it was Goebbels or one of those guys said, look at those English kings. They lie so much they start to believe their own lies. And they said, well, if we lie to the people enough, the people will believe our lies, right? And that's called the big lie. It's a famous coining of Nazism. I'm going to watch out when you're lied to lie. Now, people who use X know that they know more than people in the media, because if you watch MSNBC, CNN, ABC, CBC, NPR, even public broadcasting system, who's hiding behind Big Bird and freaking Bert and Ernie to put Nazi lies out on you, they're getting lied to. You're getting lied to when you turn the television on. So we don't turn the TV on, right? That's why free speech on Twitter is so important. That's why they want to destroy Twitter. That's why Apple and Amazon came up and said that we're going to take out Twitter, right? So I got my notes and I said, hey, lawyers, look at this. And lo and behold, I got Warren Buffett's lawyers. You know what Warren Buffett did back in 2024? He sold a stock. He made $133 billion because of me personally telling him there's a lawsuit coming for Apple. He knows there's a lawsuit coming for Apple, and they're concerned, right? So they took their money out, right? Now what happened was, because Warren Buffett took his money out, Apple got crippled. And I told Tim Cook, Tim Cook, why don't you honor me? Why don't you honor me? I'm the author of the smartphone. But it ends up being Steve Robs for Tim Cook, right? Tim Cook knows I'm the author of the smartphone. So does Sundar Punchar. They both know I authored the smartphone. They both know I'm the big mind behind Steve Jobs. I invented everything in the smartphone except like the camera and the swipe controls. Talked about the virtual keyboard, Talk about the alert systems. I have lots of jokes in my designs. You should check them out sometime on techiform.com. The smell alert, smell-o-vision. I had vibration, sound, sight alert, customizable alerts for people. There's the display goggles. The design goes on and on. It's like I said, it's almost like freaking looking at Da Vinci drawings if you really look at them. Because look at some of these. There's some really wicked art to it. Wicked cool art. I brought the Bostonian in there. There's a punk guy. I'm just telling you, this is how it was designed, man. You're witnessing the 2000 design of the smartphone. And it's coming. Apple and Google coming. So Warren Buffett sold a stock. If you're holding on to your stock, Apple's probably going to go bankrupt. I would not hold on to my stock, and I'll explain why. But this is not just fear mongering. This is not pump and dump. I have no stock in Apple. I have nothing to gain except your freedom. So Apple was turning people into the government in the United States Kingdom for stuff they said against Islamic terrorists. Islamic terrorists are on the streets of all of Europe except Poland, and they're basically dragging women into rape dungeons, I'm sorry to say it, and they're repurposing them as baby factories for ideology. So when you accept Muslims in your country, eventually they're going to threaten to kill your politicians, and then what happens is politicians won't enforce the law. Lo and behold, Islamic people are doing terror on your streets, and you're going to jail for speaking out against it. That's what's going on in Europe right now. So Apple has become big brother for turning people in for that. Also, Apple is attacking free speech on X. Apple attacked free speech on Parler. Google censors scientists online. Apple's not paying their their employees in poor countries. Apple turned off AirPods against Chinese revolutionaries. Apple had an advertisement back in 1904. Apple had an advertisement back in 1994 how they would stop Big Brother, but they've actually become Big Brother. Okay, I'll show you that. I'll show you this advertisement real fast, and I'm going to close out real fast because I think I've said everything I had to say. I'll see that chicken dude swinging the sledgehammer. That's me. My name is Jim Sager. I am the father of the smartphone, and because I told because I told Elon to buy Twitter, expose the algorithms, and I'm the guy who fought against this.
The first glorious anniversary of the information.
You might want to stand beside me. I'm not a greedy man. If I care more about you than getting money, I'm poor, dude. I suffered malnutrition. I don't. My family like abandoned me a lot of times because I'm poor, right? They say I'm crazy that they won't hire me because I'm Christian, but I don't know any Christians have a job. Big tech will not hire Christians. They say we hate us, right? If I got no job, what else am I going to do except fight against these people who prevent me from getting work, right? What else I have to do is prevent you? Well, I could have cashed in a long time ago, but this is the right time. Now is the time, man. It's 20 years I didn't take millions of dollars. Hundreds of millions. I could have chicken dudes for days, man. But I'm a Christian. I only want one wife, right? And I have lots of women who want to marry me right now, but I don't have any money.
Will introduce Macintosh.
It was a huge
and
temptation
you'll see why
to not take money.
1984 won't be like 1980.
Yeah, but 2024 is, dude. We got to get out of this dystopia. We have to fight for freedom, even if it costs us everything. So we have the World Economic Forum has 1/3 of the world's GDP, and they're bribing people back and forth. You have these fatwa people saying they'll kill people, right? And we know there's backdoor bribery. We know there's backdoor threats. They released drug lords out of prison. I got banned on Amazon for saying terrorists are evil, right? So this all concludes into one big thing. Free speech is very important. Because if you can't speak out against these people, they'll do their stuff hidden. Right? What's the saying? If you don't speak out against free speech right now, you won't be speak out against free speech. If you don't speak out against censorship right now, you can't speak out against it later. I mean, I don't know if I said that, but someone else probably said it before me. So long story short, there's another saying. Oh, I say censorship is the brother of lies. The first person to speak in court always seems right until his opponent begins to question him. So if one person can't defend themselves, the liar wins. Censorship defends liars. All these different. I've been censored for hate or violence on Facebook and X for everything I say. I just post scientific articles, but it's all violent speech because they're acting all together in one collaboration. Stop corroborate. Or anyway, what an oligopoly is just when two people act together as a pseudo monopoly. And the World Economic Forum has got all their money because it's one big oligopoly. It's criminal. It's a criminal conspiracy under the law. MIT has you watch the MIT video on conspiracies, oligopolies. It's literally an economic lecture about when two companies conspire to raise their prices together. Instead of competing, they're making more profits, right? So American capitalism has gone the way of crony capitalism, which is oligopolies. They're simulated monopolies. That's why the cell phone prices didn't go down so long. Sprint, AT&T, and all them. But we're getting off track. We're gonna finish this up. We're gonna finish this up with Warren Buffett selling his stock. So Warren Buffett got all that money, right? So what's he do with it? Recently, he just gave $6 billion to Bill Gates, right? What's Bill Gates do with money? Well, people were in the know. Bill Gates caused COVID. It's on its own. Hell, let's go do it. Let's do the Bill Gates deep dive, right? When we close up, Bill Gates caused COVID. Wuhan. It's on his own freaking site, dude. I can't believe not everybody knows this by now. So Bill Gates funded Wuhan. Bill Gates said he wanted to make money. 2018, Wuhan, 14 months. So it came out right when it came out, right? COVID came out, December 2019. Notice that's exactly when this came out. If you go on my Rumble, Good News Jim Rumble, you say Fauci. To type his name by now. He's a very famous guy. Good News Jim. Fauci explains how he wants to make money, how no one's going to stop him, and he's going to push fear and agendas. Watch for they talk about agendas right off the bat. They have newscasters and shit here. That's the FDA lady who pushes mercury is safe. Let's go. We're going to get some advertisements. Suck. But long story short, why I'm tying this together is I got Warren Buffett to sell his stock. Warren Buffett's really rich. He gave his stock to Mr. William Gates over there.
I think we're being.
All right, they give him the Bill Gates. Now, what's Bill Gates doing? In collaboration with the Iranian fatwa, they are bribing people all around the world, right? If you know what the WEF is, it's Iran, China, Nazis, billionaire banks, trillionaire banks, billionaires, and corporations. So we have to declare WEF. If we just simply declare WEF an international terrorist organization, a lot of American corporations would have to divest off of it. So anyway, I want you to see a little bit of this proof fallacy applied to break the law, cause the money, push fear in his own words. Why I pick up some other stuff on Bill Gates' crimes, because this is where we're at right now, and why the Epstein list is not being seen. Because Bill Gates just got $6 billion off of Warren Buffett, and they're pushing a lot of disinformation. They might be threatening Donald Trump. They might be threatening his family. And there's a fatwa on him all at the same time. Trump is doing stuff he would not normally do, and you've seen it. Lords of Mexico release drug lords out of prison and shit out of this.
I think we're being terrible PR people.
No, she says PR.
We're flu ambassadors, and we're saying flu is not sexy. He's very sexy.
Flu is sexy.
Don't you dare.
We got to get you trained first.
Could I get you trained?
Anybody that's afraid of influenza.
I got to push fear,
When a
Fauci
focus
says.
group, when you say, are you afraid of getting HIV if you're at risk? Oh, absolutely. Are you afraid of getting cancer? Absolutely. Are you afraid of the flu? Don't bother.
PR issue.
Yeah, the public relations, narratives, agendas, whatever. So anyway, Bill Gates made genetically modified mosquitoes. If that doesn't freak you out, I mean, what's going to freak you out, right?
I wish the narrative would have come up on the video coming through, because what's called out in that narrative is a sense of urgency.
Disruption. Why don't we blow the system up? I mean, obviously we can't just turn off.
Blow up the system. Anyway, Bill Gates has been spraying dust in the atmosphere to block the sun. So charged ionic particles. You can move them around with a ground-based laser. But anyway, let's look at this real fast. Just Google ScopeX, SEO, like scope, and then add it next to it. But what New York Times even says, New York Times, blot out sun. And see, Bill Gates is doing it. Because they test. This started 2024. All right, well, tested a way of blotting out the sun, and this happened in 2024 last fall. That's why we had a bad winter. So we got GMO mosquitoes. We have weather control. Keep talking. What else Bill Gates got? Oh yeah, Bill Gates was on Epstein Island.
And then say, hey, everyone in the world should get this new vaccine we haven't given to anyone yet. But there must be some...
The sense of urgency.
Urgency?
Urgency.
Got to do it fast, man.
Do we need to have lots of people die for that sense of urgency?
I got people die, right? But anyway, this happened 2 months before COVID came out, right?
To occur?
Well, the incredible thing is that lots of people do die every year, and yet we aren't mobilized.
He said, poo-poo, people die. These people have no sense of empathy. By the way, this lady, Margaret Hamburger, was in charge of the FDA, and she said mercury is not toxic. That's like saying lead's not toxic. That's like saying tobacco is not toxic. That's like saying radiation is not toxic. She's saying RNA vaccine is not toxic. Great, you just take money.
You know, we have to take that sense of urgency, that economic cost, that societal disruption, and the lives lost into...
Why did that skip right there? Oh, won't we watch it? Why can't I watch my own damn video? Probably because there's ad blockers or something going on. All right, well, I'm going to show you some other stuff while that sorts its own crap out. So I want you to see Bill Gates actually. He's openly admitted he was in Epstein and did bad stuff by a terrible lie. So I'll explain.
Celebrate independence.
What the frick? So his lie was he answered a question wrong. It's important to understand this. This is like Perry Mason stuff. Everybody should know this.
Into perspective.
All right. Well, I want to segue into this Gates thing here. Gates proved he's on Epstein.
The issues that's dogged you is that of your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you regret the relationship that you maintained with him against Melinda's advice and wishes?
Oh, I've said that you're going way back in time, but yeah.
Okay, number one, he said, and put it behind us. You notice Trump said, put it behind us. There's either two things going on with Trump. Either Gates is trying to push it, Trump with threats, private threats, or Trump's involved. Okay, that's only two. Both ways, the government's corrupted.
New audience.
I will say for the, dinners with him. Over 100 times, yeah, I shouldn't have had dinners with him.
Okay, so Melinda's advice. He answered the question
the
differently.
issues that's dogged you is that of your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. Do you regret the relationship that you maintained with him against Melinda's advice and wishes?
Oh, I've said that you're going way back in time, but yeah,
New audience.
I will say for the, over 100 times. Yeah, I shouldn't have had dinners with him.
Epstein had a way of sexually compromising people. Is that what Melinda was warning you about?
Okay, so she asked a question about, did Melinda warn you about him sexually compromising people? He's going to answer something that he premeditated that has nothing to do with the question, did Melinda warn you about a sexual compromising?
No. I mean, it's... No, I had dinner with him.
Do you see that? She was asking him, did Melinda warn you about his sexual compromising? He was just asking about Melinda, right? She was asking about if Melinda warned you about him, right? She should be like, oh yeah, you know, blah, blah, blah. But he's like, no. I just had dinner with him, right? He was answering not her question. He's answering a defensive question of being accused of doing something on the island. If he didn't do anything on the island, he wouldn't be defensive. He'd be like, yeah, I'm boss myself there. Okay, so this is just a general thing for all you guys out there. When someone answers a question that is not the right question, they answered a question that you did not ask, they're deflecting. They didn't want to answer that question. So number one, that's bad. Number two, it's a premeditated answer he had. Number three, he sounds like Bill Clinton. I did not have relations with that Epstein guy, right? Like, this is all guilty. There's a third one too, but like I don't want to get into it. Like there's just too much to go with. But long story short, Melinda actually divorced Bill Gates because of the Epstein Island and this COVID stuff.
Undermine all of.
And this is why you need free speech, man. Otherwise, you can't say these guys are bad guys.
Of civic life, how it would undermine their own ability.
What Bill Gates should be doing.
To needs.
Following Jesus. He should just not be figly fitted.
Economic costs and productivity costs, in addition to the medical concerns, and ultimately the loss of faith of people in government and leaders.
Well, anyway, you can watch this if you want. This is it's just amazing. Like oh, you'll watch this one real fast. He predicted the flu would come from China, and it'd be a novel flu virus, right? Like, this is sponsored by Bill Gates. Bill Gates caused COVID.
But it is not too crazy to think that an outbreak of a novel avian virus could occur in China somewhere.
Yep, and then like a month or two later it comes out, right? So Bill Gates caused COVID. Bill Gates trying to blow out the sun. That's why we had a shitty winter. That's why we had a shitty summer, cold winter, hot summer, and he's blaming it on global warming. Well, it's man-made. It's you, fucker, Bill Gates. And like it's in Harvard. He made mosquitoes. Their thing. He made cancer meat. All right. So anyway, now how's this all tie back into free speech? I wasn't going all the way here. I'm going all the way because I got cut off in the middle of my discussion. So might as well give it the full thing. Well, like I said. Started with 2018. Hillary Clinton was mad. She lost the election. So she had Zuckerberg trials and said they have to censor disinformation. Right? Well, like, you're allowed to lie. Freedom of speech allows you to lie. And the drafters of the Bill of Rights, the First Amendment, when you read the drafting, if you go back and read John Adams, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, et cetera's writings, all of them, James Madison, John Adams, all of them say free speech applies to private businesses if it's a public forum. Every single one. So all these social media things that say they're free speech, well, they have to give equal visibility for everybody, right? So when I got Elon to buy Twitter, well, what happened was Elon's employees are moles. They don't like Elon. They're WEFers. Like I said, Bill Gates is a WEFer. There's many. You can look up all the WEFers if you really want to look at them. They're all bad guys. Everybody in the WEF is a bad guy. It's a terrorist organization. So Linda's a WEFer. This is why it all ties together. Linda's in with this shit. Linda doesn't like free speech. She will not hire a Christian. She's anti-Elon. Now, Elon pronouns are prosecute fallacy, right? So Elon is anti-WEF, or he's part of the WEF and he has infighting with Bill Gates, who shorted a Tesla stock a long time ago. But I honestly believe Elon Musk has a very good heart, and he's just overextended, and he's pushed around by a lot of people. He would love me not just as a scientific, number one scientist in all human history, inventing terraforming von Neumann robots, and the smartphone, and so on and so forth. I mean, it's so many things, it's ridiculous. Grok, OpenAI, ChatGPT, all say I'm the number one scientist. They're right. Scientists say I'm the number one scientist in human history. You got, excuse me, my living conditions are pretty trashy here. I'm basically Tesla. I'm like a super Tesla, because I was just closing some doors because it was starting to be bad from some badness in another room. But long story short, I'm like known as one of the smartest people who ever lived. Grok says, Grok and him say I could be like, the top dog if there's no deities walk the world, and I'm a friend of Jesus, so I believe DT did walk the world, a being of pure love. I mean, if you don't believe in love, I mean, if their guy in charge of eternity is not loving, that's not going to be heaven. Right? So let's reel it back in. Hillary Clinton, 2018, outlawed free speech online because she said we have to combat disinformation. That's just that she just wanted to outlaw free speech. Great. Glad you weren't president. All right. But they kicked about 100,000 Christians off of Twitter in 2018. 100,000 Twitter. And we all ended up in Parler because we were a good group. I like to share recipes with them. They had funny jokes. There was a girl named Fan N I liked, and she would just say funny jokes. She encouraged me to say funny jokes and not just say scripture all the time. I was so... inwardly, I didn't want to make a mistake, so I just told people about God nonstop, right? She told me to loosen up, and it was a good thing because I got really political right now. I'm only like, I talk with Mike Benz, I talk with James O'Keefe, like I've helped expose some stuff with James O'Keefe, and they just hang out with Trump a lot of times. Trump would love to meet me. Trump would actually love to meet me. I'm one of the guys that say push energy policy. High energy equals low inflation. When we go to global warming, it's just a psychological war against America, making us live on less. So we produce more. We have less productivity. Other countries make more industry, and we lose out in the wars in the future because money wins wars in the future. So long story short, I expose all this stuff. I'm more like I said, one of the smartest dudes ever. You probably picked it up by now. And so Elon would love to meet me, but Linda doesn't want me to be seen because she's a WEFer, right? Christians aren't allowed to work because that's a WEF agenda. We're not even allowed to have kids. I've talked to people who gave the WEF agenda out loud, right? WEF agenda out loud. I'll just let these guys go for some. So like the WEF, they did the WEF agenda out loud, right? And they told me, well, the agenda is, Jim, we don't want you working because working will get you money, so you can afford a house. You would get a wife, and then you'd have kids, and your kids are the enemy of our politics, right? So who's the politics? Islamic people, Nazis, and CCP. The CCP, if you know, they will execute anybody religious in China, not just Christians. They execute even Muslims and Hindus and even like Buddhists and shit. They'll just execute you because, their emperor wants to demand worship. Their emperor will actually recycles people he doesn't like as an act of dominance. He's like, Hong Kongers, you peaceful protest, now get in van and we will harvest your organs. We won't even kill you. We'll just take them out one by one. And it's like, that's what they do, dude. Like Iran and North Africa. You ever hear of Somalia crisis? Ever hear of Darfur crisis? Ever hear of Sudan crisis? Ethiopia crisis? Well, for 100 years, Christians were helping them. We feed them, we cure them, we build them villages, educate them, we give them farming techniques, medicine techniques, and they loved us, right? So Islam, if you know Islam, it's join or die. Everybody in the world has to bow before their idol. Everybody, it's join or die. Everybody has to bow before their idol. If you're not Muslim, we kill you. So every time Iran gets money, they take a truck, they go in North Africa, and they will slaughter people. They will, enslave if they can. They capture them, enslave them. Are you Muslim? No. Well, then you slave now. And then you'll be either labor slave, you'll be a sex slave, and if you don't qualify for that, you're going over the Neo-Silk Road, you're going to China to get your organs harvested. This is the WEF. This is the World Economic Forum. It is Nazis and communists and terrorists, oh my. And we got Bill Gates as part of it, John Kerry is part of it, Al Gore is part of it, and that's why Europe is all fallen to Islamic immigrants. They call it Islamophobia when you say that's not right. Islamophobia is when people let Islam people do what they want on the street and people die. Let's tie it back together. Now that we got it all together, hope you got it together. Hope you know what's going on in World War III right now. It started about 98 when China wanted to get Hong Kong because it went sovereign to UK. Let's reel it back together. I'm going long haul on this because I got censored talking about censorship, dude. That happens all the time. LinkedIn banned me because I said I was discriminated at Blizzard, right? So it's just a chain understand the discrimination. They want you hidden. They don't want you heard from. They want people to know there's a mass discrimination against Christians. There's a mass cultural war to destroy your country from the inside, because Muammar Gaddafi says if we can outbreed them, we don't have to beat their army. So they're just out there to outbreed you. This is actually their war. This is your war. And the COVID, by killing everybody in the world, that lowers your population. And China thinks they had too many populations. So think about it. If you're hitting the population cap and you lower everybody's population, well, then everybody else dies, but you still at the population cap. You didn't lose anything in China. They look at it like that way. But the reason China has a population cap is because they're communists, and they're limiting government is limiting how much food they can give their people. It has nothing to do. It's because they're tyrants. It has nothing to do with having too many people. It has everything to do with, like, they don't have an economic system that lets those people achieve their dreams and goals like capitalistic America does. Invest in yourself. Go to school. You can pick a job you want. Capitalism has all the problems of communism. Communism has more. Capitalism is like work a job, pay your taxes, the government serves you. Communism is the government picks your job, government pays you, you're the government slave, right? So communism just makes you a slave. Better dead than red. It's a factual thing, right? So let's reel back it. We're getting there. Maybe I got through a couple of people. Talking to one of the world's smartest dudes ever. I talk really fast. I'm really smart. Got a lot of stuff to say. If you want, I can talk slower in the future, but I don't want this video to get huge in terms of file size. I do want to get huge. I want a lot of people to listen to my words, right? Anyway, so 2018, Hillary outlawed free speech. 2018, Christians got kicked off of Twitter. I got censored under hate speech for saying God is love, Jesus loves you, everybody should love each other. Yeah. So 2018, Hillary outlaws free speech. 2018, Saudi Arabia owned Twitter, kicks people off of Twitter. I get censored under hate speech for everybody saying they should love each other, and I say it's frickin' on. And I wrote like over 200 articles against censorship for that since then. If you don't speak out against censorship immediately, you can't speak out against it later, right? So long story short, so now I got censored on Facebook. I was censored I got strikes on YouTube for talking about the deadly vax. I'm a scientist. I read about spike proteins. I did my research on NIH because my mom was all pushing the vax on everybody, and she's a nurse. Nurses were used as pawns. You gotta remember, study the pandemic. You gotta know what's going on. All right, so I studied it, and I said, wow, these are toxic. Even the masks which limit your oxygen, it causes hypoxia. This is a stunt like child growth. They won't get enough oxygen. They're not going to grow as high. They're not going to get enough oxygen. It causes organ deformation when they're growing, and then it lowers your IQ. Like that hypoxia they put on the mask is what a torture device they put on people in Guantanamo. For 70 years, the military knows about the effects of hypoxia. So why do we put hypoxia in all of our children wearing a mask? The mask killed more people than COVID itself. The survival rate of I'm probably off by a 9 or something, but the survival rate of 0 to 18 with comorbidities, they could have AIDS, they could have asthma, they could have cancer. The survival rate of COVID is literally 99.99998%. Okay, so you don't need a vax if you're 0 to 18. Everybody was surviving it. It was just the flu, basically. It was a modified flu. It was what COVID was. It was modified in Wuhan, If you watch the James O'Keefe Project Veritas video, that's what Tristan Walker says. It was a gain of function in Wuhan labs, right? And then I'm the one that told James O'Keefe that China acknowledged that his video is legit when they were doing there's a Chinese video. If you look on myfatherspiritson.com and just search for China, and you'll find an article where China admits it did COVID virus accidentally. They were so busy boasting, they didn't realize what they said admitted that they made COVID, right? So, in that article, it talks about how they bribe our music industry or our news. They bribe our Hollywood to make sure they don't say stuff they don't want to, right? And if you think back to it, 98, censorship started on The Simpsons. The writers had to go home. That was like the last good episode of Simpsons, season 8, season 9, right? Then Simpsons started to suck and get political, right? Everybody remember the first 8 seasons? You at least hear people say first 8 seasons, 9 seasons are better. Well, they have cultural taste. They were able to discern that China was ruining our thing. The radio personalities local to me got taken off the air when it was the highest rated radio station in all human history. Comedians aren't allowed to say things, and movies started to suck, television started to suck. Instead of like making fun of both politics sides, it was just bash one side, right? That all came in 98. That's because Hong Kong went sovereign by the UK. So let's close it out. 2018, Hillary Clinton outlawed free speech because she's a bitch. 2018, I got banned off of Twitter because I said everybody should love each other, and they said that was hate speech. I got banned off of Reddit because you're too American. People know Reddit's Tencent, which is an arm of the military now, arm of the Chinese military. banned on YouTube for a while because I was talking about the vax being deadly, and I'm right, and they know I'm right. I stopped using Twitter. I started using Rumble. I encourage people to use Rumble. I encourage people to use X. What's funny is since X is WEF, Linda Yaccarino, she just talks a lot. Linda Yaccarino is WEF. She's censoring Christians. So despite me being a free speech advocate who tells the world that everybody should be able to talk, I'm the most censored guy around. Check it. Right? And then it all ties together, right? I did the long orbit, and I brought it back together. I'll conclude again. That's how Bill Gates and everything ties into this. 2018, Hillary Clinton wanted to outlaw free speech, and she got what she wanted. Disinformation. The biggest disinformation people were the fact checkers. I had fact checkers just lie to my face. They said, this is not true. And then they posted an article that said I was right. Like, they would say that's not true, but then they weren't even addressing what I said, right? And everything I said is violent. I'll post a data chart about, like, crime, or I'll do a data chart about, like, CO2 or something. That's violent. It's like I'm posting scientific data. How could scientific data charts possibly even be violent? But everything I do when they censor me, doesn't matter what's big tech it is, it's always violence. It's always violence. I tell people not to be violent. They say, we should revolutionize, and I'm like, dude, put your guns away, dude. Just sit down, man. As long as they let you talk. Like, we were speaking for free speech. Why would they want to stop free speech, nonviolent talk, right? But they're saying I'm violent, and it's just bogus. I mean, like, if they call love hate, they banned me for hate speech for saying everybody should love each other. They can ban you for anything. So, like, really back in the 80s, 90s, ACLU would fight for the free speech of Nazis to protest, because if you start isolating who can protest and who can't, boom, all of a sudden they can censor you for anything they want. And right off the very first thing I got censored for is I said God is love, Jesus loves you, everybody should love each other. And they said it's hate speech. I've been censored thousands of times since then, all talking for the beautiful cause of humanity, for love, and for the world. As you can tell, I'm not a violent person. I mean, would a violent person, would a trash person of humanity turn down like hundreds of millions of dollars to stand for your freedom, right? So Linda Yaccarino is in bed with Gates. Well, not maybe literally, I don't know, but figuratively, she's in bed with the WEF, the mosquito maker, the COVID maker, the blood out the sun asshole, the cancer meats, right? So if Linda's in with this guy, he doesn't want people talking. I'm not talking. Like, I'll see people with 80,000 replies. Like, a lot of people with 80,000 replies on a reply. I get like 3, right? Views. Like 80,000, not replies, 80,000 views, I get like 3. I am hard censored on X. I'm hard censored on X. It's because of Linda, because of the WEF, because the liberals don't want Christians to talk. All the big tech, one way or another, it said had employees tell me they hate me or not pay me criminally what they owe me. I've made big tech over $5 million over 15 years. I made several videos. Excuse me. Oh, that's disgusting. I made several video games that took blood, sweat, and tears. So you're talking like thousands of hours over years, and I publish it. And I'm proud of it. And it's a good game. And the total, they made over $5 million. You know how much they paid me? 0. Name a big tech. I'll tell you, they ripped me off. How they ripped me off. A lot of big techs say they hate me. Some of the big tech employees told me the agenda. Well, the Christians aren't allowed to work because we don't have kids. I have lots of girls that are really hot, want to marry me. You can't marry me. I don't have money. All right. So it's all agendas. It's all culture replacement. And we'll close back out with the boring thing you've already heard. 2018, Hillary Clinton outlawed free speech. 2018, I got kicked off of Twitter for hate speech, for everybody should love each other. Saying everybody should love each other, kicked off for hate speech, right? 100,000 other Twitter Christians got kicked off of Twitter. We went to Parler, and we were like, wow, I can't believe you're here. Well, it's the only place we could talk, Hitler silenced Christians and Jews because we're the voices of peace. When you silence the voices of peace, all you got left is voices for war. Right? Oh man. Anyway, so Parler got shut down because Amazon pulled AWS. Do not learn AWS. Do not use AWS. Amazon can pull the plug anytime. Why would you entrust yourself to Amazon? Recently, Amazon has been in trouble in the news, rightfully so, for supporting terrorism. There's a guy named Hassan, who says evil bomb every place, destroy America shit, and he's on Twitter. He's on Twitch. Hassan's on Twitch, and they protect him. They protect this guy who wants to bomb everybody, wants everybody dead. He's an Islamic terrorist because Twitch, Amazon are WEF. They are Islamic terrorists. They're WEF, just like Bill Gates, just like Linda Yaccarino. Twitch is WEF. Amazon Switch is WEF. So they support a guy that supports terrorism. They banned me in 2021. They took away my job. This is how I made money. Hundreds of dollars a month. And was growing. I probably make thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars a month. I'm the #1 gamer. Everybody loved to hear me talk. Making $100 a month. I lost my job because I said terrorism is evil. So Amazon 100% supports terrorism. Bill Gates supports terrorism. He did bail out terrorism. Linda Yaccarino is part of the WEF. They think they're conquering the world. They think they're Broad Network unstoppable. They think they're the Goliath. They can't be stopped. But you know what happened to Goliath? God took him down. So have love in your heart. Have trust. And, man, good thing Linda Yaccarino is gone.